Thanks to our ancestors over the last 250 million years, the human body possesses remarkable abilities to adapt and survive, including the ability to increase muscle size to prepare for the challenges of wrestling a lion barehanded, or in today's terms, raising a heavily loaded barbell against the force of gravity. This muscle growth is stimulated by conditioning exercises, nutrition, water, and rest, but governed by chemical messengers in the body called hormones. Most hormones have multiple functions, but today we're going to focus on some of the most influential hormones that are involved in muscle growth. Testosterone is a steroid hormone that can be synthesized either from cholesterol or directly synthesized from acetyl coenzyme A. Like all steroid hormones, it penetrates the lipid bilayer of the plasma membrane and triggers specific intracellular receptors on the nucleus. Testosterone is stimulated by a cascade of events along the hypothalamic pituitary gonadal axis, or HPG axis. The homeostasis regulating part of the brain, called the hypothalamus, produces gonadotropin-releasing hormone, which travels down the hypophyseal stalk to the nearby gonadotrope cells in the anterior pituitary, which is the endocrine gland just below the brain. The gonadotrope cells, in turn, secrete two sex hormones, follicle-stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. This time, these chemical messages can be secreted directly into the bloodstream. In men, the smooth endoplasmic reticulum of the interstitial cells of Leydig, located between the seminiferous tubules in the testes, get wind of this message in the bloodstream and secrete testosterone into the blood. In circulation, most testosterone is converted inside target tissues into the more active hormone dihydrotestosterone. If it doesn't reach the target cells, it is eventually cleaned up by the liver, or converted to estrogen by adipose tissue. In women, the smooth endoplasmic reticulum of the theca cells in pre-ovulatory follicles in the ovaries also produce testosterone in response to luteinizing hormone, but due to the enzyme aromatase secreted by granulosa cells, this mostly gets converted to estrogen. Although the target cells of testosterone are widespread in both genders, where it delivers androgenic effects like hair and muscle growth, it also stimulates libido, bone health, and immune function. Studies indicate that testosterone levels are proportional to genetics, conditioning exercise, and rest, but also diet, where high-fat diets, especially saturated medium-chain triglycerides, produce measurably more testosterone and human growth hormone, which synergistically promotes muscle growth and inhibits muscular atrophy. Earlier I mentioned testosterone is stimulated by a cascade of events along the hypothalamic pituitary gonadal axis. Well, human growth hormone, also called somatotropin, is also secreted from the anterior lobe of the pituitary gland, but instead it is produced by somatotroph cells under instruction from the hypothalamic growth hormone releasing hormone called somatocrinin. Human growth hormone exerts its effects directly on almost all tissues of the body without the need for a further cascade of endocrine organs like testosterone. And, unlike the steroid hormones, it doesn't need a protein transporter to be dissolved in the blood. However, it doesn't penetrate the lipid bilayer of the plasma membrane. Instead, it acts on transmembrane protein receptors. The rate of secretion of growth hormone-releasing hormone is increased from the hypothalamus when sleeping and when fasting due to decreased serum glucose levels. As a negative feedback mechanism, growth hormone-inhibiting hormone, somatostatin, is released when serum glucose is high, which downregulates the release of human growth hormone. This might be why high-fat, low-carb diets are becoming increasingly popular in athletes and bodybuilders. Human growth hormone is the main hormone in promoting body growth of all tissues, including muscle and bone, mostly by stimulating the production of insulin-like growth factors, or IGFs, which are mainly produced in the liver, but also locally in other tissues like bone. These hormones don't have any androgenic sexual characteristic effects like testosterone. Human growth hormone and insulin-like growth factor 1, also called somatomedin C, stimulate growth by increasing the cellular uptake of amino acids and synthesis of new proteins to build new tissues, while also inhibiting muscular atrophy from gluconeogenesis or the hepatic oxidization of amino acids in ATP production. Interestingly, the pygmies of Africa literally lack the gene that codes for the production of insulin-like growth factor 1, and that's why they're comparatively little. Human growth hormone literally burns fat while you sleep. It achieves this by promoting the conversion of energy stored as triglycerides in adipose tissue to resupply the instantly available energy stored in the liver and muscle cells in the form of glycogen. Insulin-like growth factor 1 increases insulin sensitivity, and this is significant because insulin is the hormone that triggers cells to take up nutrients. Insulin is by far the most influential hormone of weight management, stimulated by high serum glucose levels and produced by the beta cells in the pancreas. Insulin transports nutrients nutrients like glucose, amino acids, and fatty acids into tissue cells. And if these nutrients are shuttled into muscle cells, then the muscles will grow. Well, conversely, these nutrients are shuttled into fat cells, then body fat increases. This indicates that the timing and the amount of carbohydrate consumption is important, and that maybe that post-workout carbohydrate craving isn't bad after all, as long as it contains all the other essential nutrients. To summarize, testosterone and human growth hormone help build muscle and burn fat at the same time, while insulin, like growth factor 1, specializes in tissue growth and repair, and insulin stores the energy in the blood away into the cells. So if your goals are to be stronger, to live long and prosper, to feel better, look better, have better moods, better sex, and to be fitter, then the lifestyle factors of eating the right things, exercising the right amount, sleeping the right amount, drinking water, and getting some sunshine and emotional well-being will likely improve your hormonal balance and give you the ability to achieve these goals.